Hello. Merry Christmas Eve, or at least it's Christmas Eve when I'm recording this. I wanted to record today a reading, but not part of the horrid novels series. I wanted to do something for Christmas Eve because the past 3 years or so I've been trying to do a thing with my family where we read like together, like either Christmas books or excerpts of our favorite stories. And it's been kind of, it was inspired by a supposed tradition of Sweden or some Norse country where they give each other books on Christmas Eve. Well, it hasn't really worked out that great. Nobody's really into reading like I am, and I think the first year we had a good time, and the years after that it just kind of fell apart. So since I'm not doing it with my family this year, I would still like to kind of commemorate reading because it is an important part of my life and I do enjoy it. And so I'm going to be reading an excerpt of some of my favorite books that I first read this year. The first one is teen drama with a sci-fi twist to it called Be More Chill, and I'm going to read the first 2 chapters. They're really short, don't worry though. Part 1. Pre-Squip. 1. The room is bright and alive at 4:45 a.m. I can almost ignore Middleborough High School's zombie fluorescent lighting. Mr. Gretsch is up at his desk, a tall, bald head with wisps of hair and a beard. He's accompanied by a newspaper and a cactus. In about 20 seconds, he's going to take attendance. To my left is Jenna Rowland, the coolest girl in class. Jenna is already talking, and she was like, "I'll only do it if you beat me at pool." And then, of course, she intentionally lost in pool. What a slut. Jenna likes to talk about her friend Elizabeth, who is a real slut. In fact, when I think about it, Jenna never talks about her family, or TV, or when work is due, or the ins and outs of procuring concert tickets like most girls. She just talks about how Elizabeth is a slut. You should have seen what she was wearing. It was like a garbage bag with a condom on top. Anne laughs. Anne is the second coolest girl in class, which is math. She sits in front of me, so she's always twisting back in her chair to talk to Jenna, which reinforces the fact that Jenna is coolest and she is second coolest. Girls are very territorial. Yucker! Mr. Gretsch clears his throat from the front of the room. Abby? Here. Asu? Here. Attenberg? Here. Azu, not Asu. Mr. Gretsch absent-mindedly cups his cactus. This never seems to hurt him. Here. Caniglia? Christine raises her hand. I look over at her. She looks beautiful. Here. I look down. Donkovich? Here. Goransky? Here. Here? Oh yeah. Here comes the fun part. The part that has been stressing me since they started taking attendance in 5th grade. I can't say here in response to my name. It confuses teachers. I raise my hand quietly and say, "Present." Somebody snickers up by the front of the room. Are they snickering at me? Are they? I can never be too sure. I pull out one of my pre-printed humiliation sheets, write the date at the top, and put a tally mark next to the snicker category. I cover the page tightly so Jenna can't see. Then I retune my ears and listen for copycat snickering. 2. The humiliation sheets have developed a lot over the years, with a host of different categories, but the current model has snicker, laugh, snotty comment, refusal to return a head nod, the standard form of greeting at Middleborough High, refusal to return a verbal greeting, refusal to touch hands, public denial of formerly agreed upon opinion, refusal to repeat a joke, and mortification event. A catch-all. I use the humiliation sheets to keep track of my social status in a concrete, quantitative way. They are my secret, totally. I make sure no one sees them as I fill them up with tally marks every day. I hate tally marks. Up in the front, Mr. Gretsch writes K on the board. K sucks in math. Once you see it, you might as well ignore everything and save yourself. Mr. Gretsch can't hear on account of, well, he's old. So, Mr. Gretsch can't count on account of he's, well, old. So Jenna keeps talking and I keep listening. Okay, and then Elizabeth was like, where can we go? I don't have a car like you. And the guy says, Jenna puts on a low voice, come and sit on this pipe, babe. And she went. Unbelievable. Anne eats it up, craning her neck to suck in every word. It's far enough into the school year, mid-October, for kids to have stopped talking about summer. The big story was that Jake Dillinger had sex with this model from Czechoslovakia who was dating his dad, which I believe. Jake can do anything. Most people are talking about the parties of the past weekend or the PSATs, which are coming up. There's also scattered chatter about the Halloween dance. I hear Vienna has like 5 boys lined up, because with the football players, you don't know if one of them is going to sprain his ankle and not be able to dance. Anne uptalks. Jenna gives back cold silence. That happened to me in junior high. My then boyfriend broke his leg, and I had to dance with him while he was on crutches and a cast. It was so horrible. I tuned my ears from Jenna and to other pockets of activity in the room. Mark Jackson and this other kid, his name is actually Jackson Marks, discuss video games. Rob works out a math problem, probably something post-calculus, while picking in his mouth, ear, and nose as if he has them on shuffle. Barbary explains how everyone has to call him Dr. Barbary now because he ordered a PhD off the internet. And Christine, quiet in her invisible pod up by the front of the room, just looks pretty. Oh, I hear Christine Caniglia has a new stalker, Jenna says. What? Jenna, Anne whispers, like she's protecting something. He's right there. I double. I sit quietly, stiff, calm. My head is turned so they must not think I'm listening, but I'm always listening. I'm wired. I peek at Jenna. She eyes me as if I'm a mildly interesting object between her and the clock. I turn back. Yeah, that's him, she says to Anne. I heard he wrote her a letter. I never wrote any letter. I never said anything to Christine, not once, except don't press D7 on the Nutrigrain bars. The Nutrigrain bars get stuck in this machine. That one time by the student union office where the Nutrigrain bars get stuck in the machine, because I can't talk to Christine. I just look at her and think about her a lot because she's beautiful, you know? I mean, she's intelligent and sweet and everything else a girl is supposed to be to offset her beauty, but even if she were idiotic and mean, she'd still be beautiful, and I'd still be contorted. He is weird, Jenna says. This is a bad day for me to start hearing this stuff. In my pocket is a Shakespeare made of chocolate. Okay, like one of those Easter bunny chocolates, but in the shape of Shakespeare. And I was going to give it to Christine today at our first play rehearsal. I clutch it. Jenna whispers something I can't quite catch. I slide my elbow across my humiliation sheet and put a tally mark under mortification event, because I don't have a specific category for people whispering about me. I should. Just then, Mr. Gretsch does the stupid classic high school movie move, and I can't even believe it's being done to me. And Jeremy, can you tell us what that angle would be? My notebook isn't open. It's being used as a humiliation shield. My neurons aren't depolarizing. I learned that in bio. Mortification event number 2. Okay, so Jeremy here is quickly becoming one of my favorite literary characters. Like, he's just so deliciously petty in a way that is, like, all his concerns are very teenager-ish, and, you know, things that are important to him are so small in the grand scheme of things, but it's very, very relatable. And we haven't even been introduced to the squip yet that brings out a whole lot of other stuff about him, and this is a really neat exploration of this character. I highly recommend it. If you, especially if you haven't seen the musical is very different. So I would recommend reading the book first, consider it a character study, and then if you want to, go see the musical.